That is much less than I expected. These were great results. And all right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. We are here to talk about all things investing, and while we're at it, hopefully try to make some money. We cover Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners quite a bit on this channel, so if you enjoy that content, please subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. We are making a push to get to 5,000 subscribers, so I really would appreciate anybody that would subscribe. Today I want to talk about a company called Hut8, stock ticker HUT. They are a Bitcoin mining company and they announced earnings. So I want to go through their earnings. I want to take a look at management's summary, look at their balance sheet, look at their income statement, and then I want to go through some key data that I put together, and then let's look at the chart and see where it's trading and see if there's an opportunity here to make some money. All right, so this is Hut8, management's discussion and analysis for the 3 and 9 months ended September 30th, 2021. So this is the end of their third quarter. I'm just going to skip down and go through a few of their bullet points because I am going to dig a little deeper on this one and look at some stuff directly. But let's see what management has to say. The company continues to achieve record level performance, generating revenue of $50.3 million for the quarter ended September 30th, 2021, an 874% increase over the prior year period. The growth in revenue was a combination of a couple of things. Obviously, the price of Bitcoin has gone way up since the third quarter of last year, so that has helped their revenue, but also they've added a lot of mining power. So the combination of those things has caused a dramatic increase in revenue. So revenue from our digital asset mining grew to $47.9 million in the quarter ended September 30th, 2021. Next bullet point, they say revenue from our hosting line of business was $2.4 million in the quarter ended September 30th, 2021 versus $0.5 million in the prior year period when we onboarded our first hosting customer. So they just started hosting third quarter of last year. They've now more than quadrupled that revenue. So that $2.4 million, this hosting revenue is important to them because it pays for a lot of their operations, and this helps allow them to hodl their Bitcoin. And we will take a look at their balance sheet, which is very strong. Net income was $23.4 million for the quarter ended September 30th, 2021 versus a loss of $0.9 million in the prior year period. So yes, that's right, net income. These guys make money. Based on the way things are going, they are just getting started. It is their intention to scale up and make significantly more money than this. However, making $23 million in the quarter was excellent. As of November 10th, 2021, the entire fleet of high-performance NVIDIA chips has been received at Hut8's site. They ordered 10,000 NVIDIA chips to mine Ethereum. So they're trying to diversify. They mine Ethereum, however, they get paid from that mining with Bitcoin. So all those machines put together is approximately the equivalent of 325 petahash per second of Bitcoin mining. So that's a significant amount. This is by far their most efficient mining. They're saying that the average cost to mine a Bitcoin using these machines is less than $3,000. So, at Bitcoin $60,000, you guys can do the math. That is an inconceivable gross profit percentage. It represents only a small percent of their total hash rate, but extremely profitable. So some other notable things, they raised 220 million Canadian dollars, US equivalent $173 million. So based on the money that they raised, they used $58.7 million to purchase 12,000 new MicroBT M30Ss. So that is going to add 1.17 exahash per second of mining capacity. Those are going to be delivered starting January 2022, equally throughout the year through December 2022. So they continue to add hash rate, and as you know, they have an aggressive plan to grow the business. I want to take a look directly at their income statement because there is something in here that is critically important. Let's take a look and I'll let you know what that is. So revenue, as they said, was $50 million. Cost of revenue was $21 million. That leaves gross profit of $29 million. They had overhead, general and administrative expenses of around $10 million. So that leaves operating income of $18 million. They have some reconciling items, which gets them to overall net income of $23 million. So that's a great quarter. That's their best quarter yet. And if they stay on track, quarter 4 should be significantly better than this. But that's not what I wanted to point out. So based on the way companies are forced to account for Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, this is the numbers that they have to show. But underneath this, you're going to see a line, other comprehensive income loss items that will not be reclassified to net income. Revaluation, gain or loss on digital assets, net of taxes. So this has to do with the fact that they have a massive amount of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. As the price of Bitcoin goes up, in point of fact, that is becoming more valuable. However, for accounting purposes, they are not allowed to recognize that value and record it in their financial statements. So here they're giving you a reconciliation from their financial statement number, and they're showing you that the increase in this quarter of their digital assets was $44 million. So the reality is they actually had net income of over $67 million this quarter. Their revenue was only $50 million. So you can see why these companies have chosen a strategy to hodl their Bitcoin. And this is the reason why. For those of you that own Hut8, you are most likely bullish on Bitcoin. So if you believe Bitcoin is going to continue to increase in value, then this number right here is going to continue to increase, and it is off the books. So this is an important piece of the puzzle to look at versus they have to record things a certain way, but this $44 million is real. They could go sell this tomorrow and make all that money. Now, they will not do that, but the point is that's its real value. So I wanted to point that out because it dramatically skews the results of these companies. But it is also important that on their actual day-to-day operations, they are making money. So the $23 million that they made from operations was also critical. I want to take a quick look at their balance sheet because they have an unbelievably healthy balance sheet. This is one of the strongest balance sheets out of all the Bitcoin miners. It's not the biggest, but it is one of the biggest, and it is very strong. So cash, $223 million. Now, this is in Canadian dollars. Now, we know that they just raised that cash. You know, that's where most of that came from. Digital assets held in custody, 152 million. Digital assets lending arrangement, 111 million. So that's $260 million in Bitcoin that they have on the balance sheet. They have $490 million, and again, this is in Canadian dollars, of current assets, liquid assets on their balance sheet. If you go down to their liabilities section, you'll see their total liabilities are only just under $22 million. So you're talking about $490 million of liquid assets versus only $22 million of current liabilities. So that is a phenomenal ratio. For all intents and purposes, this company is debt-free. You know, they have their current accounts payable, and that's pretty much it. So those are very, very strong balance sheet numbers. And again, this 223 million Canadian dollars worth of cash is going to allow them to buy a lot more mining equipment to continue to increase their exahash and continue to increase their revenue on a quarterly basis. And it also allows them to pay their overhead without having to sell their Bitcoin. It allows them to hodl, and we saw just in this quarter that resulted in an increase of $44 million of worth. Okay, so I put a little spreadsheet together comparing Q3 results to Q2 results, which was the period ended June 30th, 2021. So you can see they went from $33.5 million in revenue to $50.3 million in revenue. So we talked about their year-over-year growth, but this is quarter-over-quarter growth of 50%. So that is monumental growth. And they have massive plans to grow in the future. They've already purchased a significant amount of exahash. They're going to increase their mining capacity by multiples. So you can see even just quarter over quarter, this was a 50% increase. Bitcoin at the end of the third quarter had not started its most recent bull run. They will mine more Bitcoin in the fourth quarter, and the price per Bitcoin will be significantly higher. So, you know, a little foreshadowing. Q4 results I expect to be incredible. Okay, then what I wanted to look at was direct cost of mining. So their total direct cost of mining was $21 million. That left them a gross profit of $29 million. That is a gross profit percent of 58%. Now, 58% is an outstanding gross profit margin. It is actually less than a lot of the other Bitcoin miners. So I want to take a look because I think they're trending in the right direction. So they basically have two components of this. the depreciation of the machines that they buy. So as they continue to buy more machines, that number will grow. But you can see it went from 9% to 10%. The one that I want to look at is direct cost of mining. And they phrase this a little differently than most of the other Bitcoin mining companies. So this is their cost of operations. In Q3, their direct cost of mining was 32%. That actually represents a big improvement from Q2, where their direct cost of mining was 41%. They are trending in the right direction. So there are other Bitcoin mining companies in North America that probably have about half that percentage. There is the ability to improve their profitability if they can continue to become more efficient here on this direct cost of mining. All in all, 50% quarter over quarter growth, 58% gross profit margin. They made money. Their Bitcoin on their balance sheet increased in value substantially. So I don't really have any negative comments to say about this quarterly report. I think this was right on par with what everybody expected, if not better. Hut8, in my opinion, is executing very well. So having said that, let's go take a look at the stock and see what's happening. Okay, so this circle right here is today's trading. This is how the market has reacted to their earnings call on the day today. This is the opening candle. They were as high as $15.41 within a few minutes of the open. So they opened strong on these earnings results. And these are 1 hour candles, so we're still pretty early in the trading day. The next candle was a red candle down. So this has pulled back. Currently, Hut is up 3.12% on the day. That is much less than I expected. These were great results, and most of the miners are having a good day today. To me, I think there's a lot more upside to come. I think this is much less of a pop than they should have gotten on their earnings. Just since their high 2 days ago, they're down 12%. I think they should be testing and breaking the high that they recently got 2 days ago. That was at $16, which was our price target. So with these high quality earnings, I'm expecting a lot of upward pressure on Hut. So I bought some Hut yesterday in anticipation of this. So I'm not going to add to my position today, but I am not going to sell any. And I really expect to get a pop off of this. So once again, I'm using $16 as my very short-term price target. So that's only a 10% increase from where they are right now. I mean, that could happen today or tomorrow or the next day. So those are my thoughts on the Q3 Hut8 earnings report. Please do your own due diligence and make your own buying decision on this stock. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next video.